Hello my dear Stitchy friends! My name is Marie, aka Stitches and Diamonds, here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and this is my Flosstube number 10, I think, perhaps 11, I should have checked. There's lots of new faces around here, so if you're new here, if this is the first time you're watching me, a very warm welcome to my channel. This channel is all about cross-stitching and a bit of life updates, and recently also about Stitch in London, a stitching retreat in London that I am organizing. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you ever so much for your continued support. You mean so much to me. This episode is going to be all about my stitching. If you are here strictly because of Stitch in London, there's going to be another video released with the frequently asked questions, but this is going to be a true Flosstube episode because I again have not posted in quite some time. Things have been so busy and I am absolutely itching to talk to all of you about my stitching. Was that a rhyme? So I am going to be talking the following: my finishes, because ta-da, I do have some. I'm so pleased about that. I'm going to be showing you my whips that I've been working on. Apart from the finishes, I'm going to be talking about one very exciting freebie, about floss tubes that I've been watching, because it's been absolute ages that I have mentioned floss tubes on this channel. There's always been things to talk about. I have neglected mentioning other floss tubers, and I have got a list as long as my arm of people that I absolutely love and adore watching, and I really wanted to share those with you. I am going to also share some haul because I haven't spoken to you in a long time and I will have stuff to show, and I will also talk a little about a live update. It will be exactly in this order, so if you're here just because of stitching, you can drop off. If you're not interested in a live update about me, you can drop off, and so on and so forth. So let's get into stitching, shall we? Starting with the finishes, I have done a mid-year whip parade last time, and it has been such an amazing opportunity to review my current whips and see those that are so close to finishing that I can't believe that I've left them for so long without being finished. And so it has really motivated me to pick up those close to finish projects and actually really push on with finishing them. So first one would be this Dimensions little kit. It's the snow globe called Love, and it's on a plastic canvas coming in a kit. Isn't it really nice? Yeah, I really like it. So all I have to do is cut it around, and I think I'm gonna put some sort of a pin behind it or something like that, or maybe make it into some sort of a hanging ornament. And there's one Christmas decoration done. Tick. Then a second Christmas in July finish. It was so close to be finished as well, and this is from the also Dimensions kit. This is from the Christmas Village ornaments, I think the series is called. There are 5 more ornaments to be stitched on this, and there is a lot of quite elaborate, so that you don't have to see my face, quite elaborate stitching. I did a couching stitch for the first time, actually. Although I used to embroider, I don't feel intimidated, but sometimes it doesn't really come out quite as what it looks on the picture, so there were some frustrating moments, but I think overall it looks really nice. I do love this series from Dimensions because the detail that has been achieved by adding the backstitch is absolutely stunning, and I'm all here for it. It's lovely, it's wonderful. I'm loving it, and I cannot wait to stitch the next 5, although I don't think I'll be starting them in a hurry. Maybe I'll do something like one a year or something like that. Then I have finished the Friends Make Life a Little Sweeter, a very sweet stitch. This is by Emma Congdon Stitchrovia. Those who are familiar with her designs, I'm sure, could tell straight away who the designer is. This was a subscription box from the Cotton&Twine here in the UK. A couple of months back. There is a little bit of back stitch, but otherwise it's stitched like so quickly, and I think it actually looks really lovely. And it being the Cotton&Twine subscription box, it came with a frame, so I think I'm going to be just using the frame provided to fully finish this. And my fourth finish being the Kind Words Never Die. This was by Heartstring Samplery. At one point I was giving this as a giveaway, and I have finished it now. Sorry for the Luna is annoyed that I am speaking loudly right now because it is past 9 p.m. here in the lovely Bury in South Wales in the UK. I am you know, so unprepared and just wanting to do this today that I have completely not said anything in the intro and what have you, but I hope you shall forgive me. So I think I am going to be finishing this into a pin cushion for sure, and I have bought something for it. I'm going to show you quickly. I have bought this, it's like a tart sort of form. I have bought this just on Amazon. So I'm going to try to finish it into this one day. I'm sure I'll finish it. In terms of other whips that I've had the chance to work on the past couple of weeks, these two are Caterpillar cross stitch, because many of you may know that I work with Caterpillar cross stitch. I'm their YouTube presenter, so I get to stitch Caterpillar cross stitch designs, and I also get to then use them in the tutorial YouTube videos that I am making for them. So this is one of the designs that you know, for full transparency, I have been given these as part of my job, which is still so exciting to just say that. And it's the Touch of Magic stitch along that I am, of course, absolutely helplessly behind with, because it's me. I have never ever kept up with a stitch along, and I shan't be starting with that ever. Michelle at Mama Loves You GB has released a wonderful series of like sweatshirts and t-shirts, and I love the t-shirt and I'm absolutely getting it. It says one is Team Stitch Along and one is Team Start Along, and I'm definitely the Team Start Along because I can never keep up, and I then, as Pam from Just Keep Stitching says, end up a stitch alone. So this is definitely heading that way, but I am definitely enjoying it. A new part has dropped, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it looks really lovely, so I'm looking forward to stitching that. And then I have started this Sea Spray Cottage that I just want to use for something. So I have it's a very small start, but at the same time the cottage is like a small design in itself, so it's a lovely relaxing stitch, that's for sure. And I have been very much enjoying working on modern folk embroidery. The birds from Bernard's books. This is the stitch for, I always have issues remembering the hashtag. Stitch MFE for BA found, so that's Brain Aneurysm Foundation. If you follow Evertotes, Caroline and Jacob and Modern Folk Embroidery, you will know that this is in fact a charity fundraiser pattern. So I have worked quite a bit. I have almost finished page 1, and I have done a little bit of page 2, so absolutely lovely. I am working this on a 40 count vintage country mocha Zweigart just their standard sort of printed fabric, and I am using the black coffee thread by Classic Colorworks. And my last whip for the past couple of weeks I've been keeping for the last, because it is a bit of an emotional stitch for me. So I have been stitching on the Seeking Refuge by Scarlett House. I have been stitching this with Angi at Tiny House Stitcher, and whoever, if you follow Angi, you probably know that her sister has passed away. So it has been, you know, an incredibly difficult time for Angi, and I very often have issues finding the right words, and I sort of stay quiet from the fear of saying something wrong. So maybe in the important times in somebody's life, I just can't find the right words. But Angi, if you're watching this, please know that I have been so very much in my heart with you and your family and Dawn's children, and I am ever so sorry. And I have been seeking refuge with you while stitching this and making progress on this whip. And if you who are watching know Angi and know how lovely she's been in this community, please consider going to her page on Instagram, or I am sharing the information in the description down here below. They are running a GoFundMe page because her sister was only 43 years old. She left children behind. I can't even imagine what that must be. I mean, Dawn was younger than my own brothers. I can't imagine that my brothers' families would suddenly be without, not only without them, but also without the income. It's just an absolutely horrible, unimaginable time for a family to be dealing with, for a person to pass away at such a young age, and it's just terrible. So if you can spare $1 to $5 or whatever you can spare, and you would be willing to put them towards a really important and good cause, towards a stitcher from this community that has meant a lot to many, please consider donating to the GoFundMe page. Much love to you, Angi, and to your family. Okay, so those were the projects that I was working on, that I have been working on. In terms of plans, I want to set myself with a challenge, because I've got this hate that Heaven and Earth design that I have started working on. It is the She Sleeps design by Stephanie Poimunlo, and I really have not worked on it at all. So I want to set myself a challenge to work on it for this week and see how far I can get with it. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to stitch in general, but I do think if this is the complete one focus piece for me, I will at least see some progress and, you know, be a lot more motivated to show you this. So for the purposes of next video, I'm going to show this like that on the camera, so I'll be able to show before and after and tell you how I've been doing with it. I also want to continue stitching on the fox. This is the Cottage Garden Samplings first release of their Year in the Woods for 2022. And I am stitching this with Mel Rouvray over on Instagram. She is organizing a Southern Hemisphere version of this stitch along for anybody who overslept and didn't start in January, or simply fell behind and feels like stitching this with others. She has organized a lovely chat group over on Instagram, and people are sharing their progress, and some are making a really amazing progress already. And you know, although I have started this a little bit ahead, it was meant to start 1st of July and I started in June, and you know, saying that I will fall behind, and absolutely spot on. I have not put one stitch into this in the month of July because it's just been a little bit crazy. More on that in the live update. All good, but just really busy. So I am looking forward to put more stitches into this. And also, if you guys are following the Cottage Garden Samplings releases, I mean, they are beautiful. I mean, in the previous video, I think, or the one before, I have shown my collection of Cottage Garden Samplings, and I can see myself absolutely continuing that way, because everything they release is fantastic. And not only are they releasing the Year in the Woods, the latest one is a barn owl and the what was it, woodpecker, absolutely beautiful, but they have also released a Halloween design. Now, I am not one to, you know, be frequently like Halloween is not something I grew up with. Many of you will have known that I grew up in Czechoslovakia / Czech Republic, and Halloween is just not our tradition. We have more like Krampus. If any of you have ever been in Austria or Germany in the month of December, that is our scary bits. I'm going to insert a picture of Krampus. Czechs don't really do it as scary at all, may I say, as the Austrians. I lived in Austria for 2 years. I'm digressing from stitching, I'm sorry. I've lived in Austria with my now husband for 2 years, and it was legit one of the scariest things that I have been through, the Krampus sort of fest. So it's a thing. It's definitely something to see, but when they get drunk and still have their masks on and start sort of, you know, beating people, it's not so funny, and it can be a huge cultural shock if you didn't grow up with that. So, but it's, you know, it's a fun to visit. But anyways, I digress. So I just want to say that Halloween is something that traditionally would not really be celebrated in my part of the world. It would be the Krampus in run up to Christmas, beginning of December. But this Cottage Garden Samplings design posted here is absolutely gorgeous, and I can definitely see this being my Halloween stitch. And you know, knowing me, it might be one of many. It might be one of those things that I said, I'm not really into it, and then suddenly finding myself owning 50 patterns because I absolutely fell for it. So this might be the one of many that I am going to stitch. Who knows? In the beginning, I mentioned that I am going to be talking about a freebie. I wanted to highlight one amazing freebie released by Girl with Gavel Stitches. Her name is Chloe Wood over on Instagram. I was just checking whether I got her handle right, but I, you know, follow her on Instagram. I often see her progress. I love following her Instagram account. She doesn't have as a huge a following, but I mean, I think that people just need to find out about her because her Instagram is fantastic. She stitches amazing things herself, and also, I mean, genuinely watch this space because she has released the freebie. It's called Little Red Sampler. I'm going to post a link to her website, and I mean, she is shopping for original samplers like there's no tomorrow. Like, you know, this girl is going to be releasing reproduction samplers left, right and center soon, and she's constantly finding like amazing things in like antique shops, and you know, like she's got so many books on samplers and everything, and I have a feeling like she's going to be really well read and well educated about reproduction samplers. And so she's just amazing. She's really she's one of those really interesting accounts that I absolutely enjoy following over on Instagram. She has absolutely generously released this red reproduction sampler for free, and she has already sort of announced release of a reproduction sampler pattern, and she's got more in store. So watch this space. If you are on Instagram, I would highly recommend you give her a follow. And yeah, she's she's fantastic. She's fabulous. Now, as for Flosstube that I have been watching, I have got so many Flosstubes written here. Those are people that I have been watching for the past couple of weeks. I watch more, but those are sort of, and I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, because my brain is like really just absolutely full to the brim with stuff right now. So I hope I'm not going to forget anybody important, but I just wanted to sort of give you a list, because I myself absolutely love hearing recommendations for new Flosstube to watch, or just get a reminder of somebody who I maybe follow already, but maybe I haven't caught up on their videos yet. So in no particular order, may I just say, in no particular order, I wanted to mention Sarah's Stitches Spot. So Sarah has just released her second video that I have yet to catch up on. I have seen her first video. Sarah has been a part of this community for a very, very long time. She has been absolutely amazing. She has been without, you know, before having a Flosstube channel, she was always leaving such kind, amazing, supportive comments. Like, she really just finds the time to let others know that she's watching their videos, that she cares. Like, she's just absolutely wonderful. And then seeing her on video and actually getting to know her personality on video after knowing her from comments is just, you know, amazing. And it only has shown even more what an amazing person she is. She's stitching lovely, amazing things. Her husband has made the most wonderful sort of song to begin her video with. So go and watch Sarah's Stitches Spot. She is a retired physician. I am sure that her patients must have been absolutely distraught when she decided to retire, because she sort of makes you feel so nice, and I don't know, just like a really lovely person. So please go give her a follow. I mean, not that she needs mentioning, she's got thousands of people already, because like I said, she's so extremely well established in this community, and by rights she is absolutely amazing, fantastic. So in case you haven't heard about Sarah's Stitches Spot yet, please go check her out, and you will absolutely not regret it. And next Flosstube that I'm always watching is Yasmin's Made with Love. Yas is just fabulous. I love her humor, I love her talent, I love her stitching, I love everything that she you know, puts into her stitching, how she personalizes her stitching. The last thing that I have seen her personalize were like summer sort of stitches, summer smalls, and she is Polish, her husband is Moroccan, and they live in the UK, and she has sort of made it into, she like makes these patriotic stitches while she honors all the cultures, and she blends them into one. And I am so in love with that. Like, I am Czech, my husband was born in Cape Town, he's South African, in a Londoner since the early 90s, and so we sort of have these cultures mixing in our household. Obviously, living in the UK, we've met in London, we've lived in Austria, we've lived together in Czech Republic, and now we live in South Wales. So it's very eclectic, this household. There's all sorts of accents mixing in our English, after having lived many places, being from different places. So I really appreciate the, you know, sometimes being from everywhere, it can mean that it's difficult to sometimes choose which culture to honor, and you know, the strike the balance. And and for me personally, it a lot of the time means that I tend to do a lot more of the British culture. I you know, haven't read a Czech book. I can't even remember when last have I read a Czech book. So I mean, not a Czech book as in Czechs, as in book in Czech language. Anyways, that's my brain. That's the sort of humor that I'm into. I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I really love Yaz's way of balancing the different cultures, and the way she appreciates them in her videos. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. And of course, she's absolutely widely known for her Barbara Anna finishes, and they're beautiful. And also her craft room. Those are goals. Some goals right there. Now, the following two ladies are just absolutely phenomenal. I am talking about Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, and Brijin, the Museum Stitcher. They call themselves, I believe, the sisters or even the twins of Flosstube. They are absolutely wonderful, fantastic, amazing. So Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, is a cross stitcher, relatively new cross stitcher, but don't be fooled by her being a new cross stitcher. Like she goes all in with samplers and 40 counts and fancy floss and everything, and she's an amazing knitter. Like oh my god, I just wish I could reproduce even like 5% of what she can do with the knitting needles. She's amazing. She's got an amazing family, and she's into books. She's very much into books, and her book recommendation, I'm all in for it. Like she's just wonderful. So in case you haven't found her Flosstube yet, please go and check her out. She's absolutely fabulous. And Brijin, the Museum Stitcher, yes, not stitching, the Museum Stitcher, sorry, I got confused with my notes. She is working in a museum, and she works with a like preservation of quilt, like old quilts and needlework. And oh my god, how amazing is that? She has got she studied uni in history, and I think the preservation, right, if I'm saying it right. And I mean, that alone is just so incredibly interesting. She's very much into books. She's stitching wonderful things. Her and Megan are running a stitch along currently for Summer Quakers, I think they are calling it. So I mean, these two ladies are absolutely fantastic. They've got a very amazing Flosstube future ahead of them. And just in case you haven't heard of them yet, please go and check them out, because if you don't know them, you're missing out. Please go watch. Now I'm gonna mention a couple of people that I don't believe that I have mentioned on here yet, and you know, it's one of those moments when I think like, I can't believe I haven't mentioned them yet, because I watch them really regularly. One of those channels is Cross Stitch Bunny. Lauren is running a lovely channel. She also has got her own shop and some wonderful fabric, and she's running now a 9-jar sale, and she's doing a lot of like mirabilias and, you know, like over one stitching. And her projects are maybe different than projects that I currently stitch, but I love watching her progress, and I love in general watching stitchers that don't stitch all the same things that I do. I love being inspired, and if you've seen my whip parade, I'm a very eclectic stitcher. I'm not a one style stitcher, so I always love discovering new things. So definitely enjoy watching Lauren's channel, also because she's absolutely lovely and kind and just lovely to watch. Then Maxine at Nightmare Before Stitchmas. I mean, Maxine is wonderful. Her projects are just brilliant. She's got her own style, she is her own self, and I'm all here for it. I love her episodes. I have been watching her. I think we might have started channel sort of almost at the same time. I have been watching her from the beginning, and she's wonderful. I also watch Stitchy Sally. I have mentioned Stitchy Sally, I think, a couple of times on my channel. I really enjoy her projects. I have discovered, not discovered, but like when she shows her projects, I get motivated to stitch her projects. And I am going to get it wrong maybe, but I think that Rosewood Manor, I have definitely bought it. I probably am not going to show the whole haul today. I'm definitely not going to show it all of it today, but I have bought one of them. So I get frequently enabled by seeing her Blackbird designs, by seeing her Barbara Anna, the Starry Night girl that she started. Like, I just love Sally's projects, and also her finishes are wow, like really lovely. Then again, in no particular order, I just scribbled it on. Karen and Brendon and Fox and Rabbit, I just absolutely adore these two. They are so kind. They have created such an amazing community that is absolute privilege to sort of feel like I am part of. I am part of their Patreon. I have had an opportunity to take part in their monthly Zooms that they provide to the community completely for free. They are absolutely wonderful, and I'm addicted to their fabrics. So, and their updates are always like chatty. It's really like when I stitch while I watch them, it's literally like as if I was stitching somewhere on a small retreat, and we were sitting next to each other, and I'm just you know, listening. I'm stitching and listening, the chitter chatter happening around me, and it's wonderful. It's lovely. Then I always enjoy updates from Sew Me Sarah. Sarah is such a lovely person. I can't even, like, I you know, I love Sarah. She's wonderful. Her projects are always so beautiful, and I have been watching her for, I don't know, a very long time, what it feels. I must have discovered her during one of her first episodes, because I feel like I know her very well. Yeah, so it's her Flosstube is just lovely. Obviously, Angi, the tiny house stitcher, is just so kind, wonderful, amazing, a human. I don't even have enough words to describe her. She has got so many beautiful projects, and she always says the best things, the most, I don't know, she always finds the right words to describe exactly what I feel. Like, she says 2 sentences, and I could speak for half an hour, and I wouldn't express it quite right as when she says it in 2 sentences. She's wonderful. She's extremely genuine, and people love her, and I am one of those people. So I love watching Michelle at Mama Loves UGB. She has been such an enabler and inspiration, someone that has always you know, made time to make an episode for us every single week. She's so inspirational. She is sharing so much of knowledge and humor and stitching and everything. I just am absolutely loving her channel, her tutorials, her personality, and she is so kind. I cannot believe it. She is so kind, and she is coming to stitch in London. I can't believe it. She is coming to stitch in London, so I am actually going to get to meet her in person in October, which, you know, is in itself absolutely unbelievable and out of this world, and I can't believe it. So if you are also coming to Stitch in London, you are also going to meet Michelle in person on Saturday and Sunday. She's a teacher, so she can't make it quite on Friday. How wonderful is that? I love watching Ryan's Rai McGuy episodes. He's like so just this whole, like, it's so calming to watch him, and he's so creative with his finishes. He's got background in textile, and he's got like this subtle humor, and I just really love watching his Flosstube and watching his projects, and he always like puts his own twist on it, and it's incredibly enjoyable to watch. You know, just keep stitching. Wow, I mean, Pam and Steph, absolutely wonderful. I always laugh. I enjoy their, you know, just good-hearted episodes of stitching, and the chemistry between Pam and Steph is just fantastic, and they are incredibly wonderful. And Steph, when I got the idea to make Stitch in London happen, and when it sort of started looking like I will actually be able to make it happen, I have reached out to Steph, and she has said yes without absolutely any hesitation. Like, I just said, you know, I've got this idea, would you please be like willing to consider maybe, you know, maybe giving me some advice or consulting with me? And it was like, yes, absolutely. And I can't believe it. I can't believe that there is so much kindness in this community, and I can't believe that, you know, people who have got like 15,000 you know, followers to take, you know, to speak to and take care of, and there's a huge StitchCon that she's just done, and her own job and everything, and she finds time to respond to this, you know, Marie somewhere from you know, texting her from Barry in South Wales in the UK, and she says yes, and she helps me, and she finds time to talk to me over Zoom, and you know, she, you know, if you're ever going to watch this, Steph, I love you. You're wonderful. I can't believe that. I'm so lucky that, you know, you are willing to help me in this, and thank you so much. Yeah. I never miss Stitchman Darcy's episodes. I find him so uplifting. I discovered Darcy's Flosstube as one of the first Flosstubes ever. I have discovered him through Laura Gurr's Flosstube. And it was in one of her first episodes where she mentioned Darcy, and that's how I found Darcy. And through Darcy I have found Emma X Stitching, and through Emma X Stitching I have found Joe Belushi Stitches and Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery. So this whole, you know, this whole chain of events has led me to where I am now. And if I never watched these people, I would have never been inspired. I would have never done all of this. And, you know, there was a specific particular episode that Darcy has released. Don't ask me which one, but he said, you know, if you I think at some point people started reaching out to him and asking him whether they should release their Flosstube, and maybe, you know, talking to him like how to do it or something like that, and he was like supporting a lot of people in starting their own channels. And he had this pep talk in one of his episodes, and he says, you know, like if you think about releasing a Flosstube, just do it, because, and he's particularly in love with beetles, and that's also what, you know, why I really love his channel. And he says, if, you know, Beatles were like the best music ever, and if every musician after Beatles has said, oh, there's, you know, I'm never gonna do anything better, there would have never been new music, there would have never been, you know, all the fantastic amazing musicians we've had in between Beatles and now. And that doesn't mean that Beatles were, you know, that Beatles were worse, that somebody who came after them, or that somebody that came after them was never as good as Beatles. It's just that, you know, we all have something to give to this community. We all have our own personality. We all have our own twist on things, and we all have got something to say and something to bring into this community. And it was just, I don't know, there's something just, you know, like snapped inside me in a good way, where I just said, I can do it, you know, I can do it. There's even if there's just 5 people who follow me, and you know, a couple of months later there's almost 1900 of you, and I'm sitting here so grateful to everybody who I have met, even if they don't know about it, throughout this journey, and who have led me all the way here. So thank you. Yeah, and actually the 3 people I've got on the list here I have already coincidentally mentioned, and that's Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery. I feel like going back to his episodes and rewatching them, because they are so full of knowledge and things he shares about samplers. And this book, actually, the Tokens of Love, I found out through his channel. It's like an absolute wealth of knowledge, and the sort of tranquil, peaceful way that he speaks, and the personality he shows is just absolutely wonderful. And it's yeah, he is absolutely amazing. And speaking of which, he has released, together with Caroline's at Evertoads, they have released a Song of Nightingale, I believe is the pattern called. It took me about 0.3 seconds to decide to buy it, so I already own it. That's the main thing. And this time there are no DMC recommendations. The recommended floss is by by Leo and Roxy, that is exclusively distributed through Evertoads. So yeah, I have not yet ordered from Evertoads, because I don't know, you know, the postage has been a little bit of a I think mental barrier more than anything, but I will definitely order for this project, because my husband rarely comments on my stitching, but for this one he said like, wow, yes, you have to do this, and he loves the Fruits of Plenty as well. And yeah, so if you haven't seen this new release yet, sorry not sorry, you probably want it by now. Go get it. And the 2 remaining Flosstube accounts are Emma X Stitching and Joe Belushi Stitches. Although they don't post as frequently, they are absolute joy to watch. And I have, you know, sometimes like people who you start watching in the beginning, they somehow, you know, really really stick with you. Sorry, Luna is waking up. And this definitely, these people that I have mentioned, the past couple of Flosstubes, they have been well, they have been with me, I guess is the right way of saying it, since the beginnings of my stitching and Flosstube journey. So yeah, very grateful to them, and very, very, very much enjoy watching them. All of the people I have mentioned right now, I have watched in the past couple of weeks, or they are simply people who I follow on Instagram, and I never miss their update. There are others that I watch. I constantly try to watch new people. I try to watch people who mention me, but I also know that about, you know, I'm not always like how do you call it, notified on YouTube, because YouTube only picks and chooses what it notifies us about. So if you've mentioned me ever and I haven't thanked you, then I am really, really sorry. It's maybe I just haven't been notified, or at one point I know I've completely lost control of my Instagram, and I just there was just so many notifications, and I can't find them retrospectively, because they just sort of, I think after 200 there's a cutoff and you can't find them anymore. So anyways, long-winded way to say that I constantly try to find new accounts to watch, you know, new Flosstubers to follow. I like to start watching from their first videos to follow their journey, to find out a thing or two about them. So yeah, if you have got any great recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. I always love to discover new people to watch, and also recommend, pass it on. Yes, so this has been the this has been pretty much the stitching and Flosstube related update. So now a little bit about my life update for those who are interested. For those who are not, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week and happy stitching. And for those who are interested about this little you know me, I have been I don't even know what I want to say. Yeah, there's just so much happening in my life right now. So I have, I think approximately 2.5 months ago, I have started working with Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which has been incredibly exciting, and it continues being absolutely exciting. I am their content creator for YouTube. I am their presenter, which means that I get to create their videos. I have never ever realized how much work goes into creating a 10-minute video, guys. And it has been a lot for me. I have watched a very recent Flosstube by Sean at Craftivating Creations, and she basically spoke about how she has been completely MIA on her Flosstube, because the you know, full-time job that she's been doing and the part-time job for Caterpillar Cross Stitch is completely taken over. And I can definitely relate. It's a lot. It's absolutely a lot. And for that reason, I have actually decided to apply for a part-time hours at work, and I am so lucky that my work allows part-time hours. So I only have to do this crazy speed and tempo until mid-August, and I will only be working 3 days a week, and then I will have 2 days for Caterpillar Cross Stitch and also Stitch in London, and also, you know, get some of my free time back. It has been really challenging. I absolutely I really love stitching, just in case it wasn't clear to anybody. I love stitching, and I love YouTube. I love Flosstube, and I love being able to talk and communicate with other stitchers. I love the community, and I really, really enjoy doing my caterpillar cross stitch job, and I, you know, didn't want to lose anything. And in that process I also had to obviously work because I need to pay mortgage. And so I sort of, you know, was doing full-time job and all these everything around it, and lately every minute, every, you know, midnight, 6 a.m, weekend, whatever, I have been focusing into a stitch in London. And it has been a lot for me, it has been a lot for my husband, it has been a lot for our household. That, you know, everything is just everything has happened, and on top of it all we have been given a allotment after, I think we applied for that allotment in 2016, guys, and we've been given an allotment. So everything has happened at once, and I am just trying to keep calm, carry on, keep on writing those to-do lists. I currently have like 3 or 4 to-do lists on the go. I even have a to-do list for Flosstube videos to watch, believe it or not. And then I have a to-do list to prioritize whichever to-do list to do. And I wish I was joking, I'm not even. So it is extremely challenging right now. I am ever so grateful to my husband, who is here to do everything with me and who is so supportive, and I just love him to the moon and back, honestly. And you know, he deals with all my stresses and anxieties and everything. So yeah, so it's going to get a lot easier from mid-August onwards, and that's probably the absolute best news for me personally, that I don't know, I just feel like sharing with you, because it feels like, you know, you really are my friends. And the lack of time has also been the reason why I haven't responded to comments. I am so behind on comments and I'm so ashamed about it. I wish you knew. It is not that I don't read them, I read them, but they, you know, you've put so much thought into commenting on them properly, that I also want to sit down and comment on them properly. But right at this very moment I am sort of responsible for so many things in one go, that I am not as present on this channel as I would like to be, and I'm definitely not as present, like I don't feel like I'm giving back as much as I'm getting, and I feel very, very ashamed. So this all is to say that I do hope that, you know, when mid-August comes, I am going to be a lot more present here, and I will be getting back to your comments in a lot more timely manner, and I will be able to do it the way I want to do it. And that is something I am extremely looking forward to. In another news, I'm just going to briefly touch upon Stitch in London, because that's pretty much 24/7 for me right now, even though I've been sitting on the news for a very long time. So it's been in preparation mode for months, literally months and months. But I have been so grateful for everybody's support and reaching out and just sort of, you know, helping me make this a reality. I mean, it's been launched for 8 days now, and 52 people have signed up, and as of now, and the number is constantly changing. You know, it is just so wonderful and humbling, and my heart is full to the brim. I can't even say. I mean, yeah, there has been nothing but support from people around me and on this channel, and I feel like I don't have the words to express the gratitude that I'm feeling towards this community. And you know, when I started this channel, I hesitated a long time with starting it, because I felt like, oh, who's gonna want to listen to this Eastern European girl? And you know, because sometimes you just, you know, there are certain people who let you know, and not in the stitching community, I mean in general in life, who let you know that you don't belong, and that, you know, your English is not up to scratch, and this and that. And I have been hesitating a little bit to enter this community and to show my face and to show my accent, and I have been shown nothing but acceptance, and I'm going to start crying because it has been everything that I've wished for, and 100 times more. So thank you so much for that. And on that note, I think that is it for today. I am not going to have enough time to show you my haul, but I am going to do that next time, because I am going to need about half an hour just to do that. So let's have a proper episode dedicated to a haul. And I thank you so very much for watching this channel, for being here with me, for supporting me, and for embracing me into this wonderful place that is the cross-stitching community on YouTube and on Instagram. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, amazing week full of just amazing things. I wish all the best for you. Happy stitching, and I shall see you very, very soon.